Hello again, brothers and sisters in Christ. Pastor Mike here. Welcome to Midweek Meditation. It's been a wild week. It's been a wild September. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Hopefully you've enjoyed the cool weather. Hopefully you're praying it stays that way and we don't get a bunch of 90s. The sanctuary gets a little bit rough when it's that hot. Well, a lot is going on. We got a lot of stuff coming up here at church. I might be the weird guy, but Christmas will be here before we know it. We are 2/3 of the way done with this year. We almost got, to December. It's going to be wild. And a lot happened even before then. I mean, there's Advent before Christmas. We have Thanksgiving. We have Reformation Sunday with confirmation. A lot going on. So watch your calendars for the numerous events that are happening. Bible study will be starting up again, adult Bible study, so look for that. The young adult ministry is starting up again. Look for those sorts of things. If you got folks between 18 and 35, I think are the ages, great opportunity there. But also many great things have happened. Big thank you. Wrapping up and transitioning into the sanctuary is good. A lot of stuff happening as well. Feed My Starving Children. Thank you to everyone that went. Great charity. Thank you to everyone that donated. Thank you to everyone that donated blood. It is always a wonderful way to save a life. That's not hyperbole. We have had parishioners that have had to have surgery, and to do that, they need blood. You have probably saved somebody's life on one level that you've never met, and if you've had surgery, you've maybe had your life saved by somebody you've never met. It is a very, I would argue, Christian thing to do. So thank you to everyone that has done that. Wow, I'm probably missing upcoming stuff. I'm missing thank yous. That's not in general to say they're not important. It's that, hey man, it's been a wild week. A couple other things as well. Prayer. Here's your usual reminder. If you see it, pray about it. I am late to the party on one thing. I believe there was another school shooting down in Georgia. I don't really sit down to watch TV or do those sorts of things. I'm hoping that the wonderful parishioners here, when they received news, they prayed for everyone involved. I've said it before, but if you need me to ask you to pray something about specifically, I need to do my job better. Not in asking you specifically to do it, but that our faith, prayer should be part of what we do. I teach in confirmation. I'm big on that. We are people that pray. You see it, you pray about it. You see an ambulance, you pray about it. You hear something bad happen about your neighbor, you pray about it. If you need me to ask you, God bless. We'll get there. What was the other thing? Oh, yes. This week is also September 11th. Continue to pray for those that are still, suffering after that reality. It's been a wee bit of time, but the effects still linger. The echoes are still there. Families that lost folks, individuals who tried to serve and help afterwards, maybe still suffering from asbestos, inhalation, chemicals, all those other sorts of things. And even then, too, for some churches, it's maybe a general thing, but it's a very personal thing here at Emmanuel. Jeff Coleman was a parishioner. Not of me, I was not here at that time, but a parishioner at Emmanuel. And he died on September 11th. And so definitely pray for his family, his friends, those that knew him still care about him. It has got to be hard when somebody dies in a national tragedy because it's very personal, but it's very public. It's an interesting reality, so keep praying about all those things. Blessings on that. Texts. That is also one of the big pieces of midweek meditation. Texts. Last week, hopefully I did a good job of talking about our biases, our priorities, those realities, and getting in sync with God. And how that's not supposed to be legalistic, that's supposed to be a blessing. It's sometimes when I try to say that things are blessing, I think I can get a little bit mixed up. Because truly it is a blessing. When we don't have to be in control, we don't have to be the mediator of salvation, that we're not in charge of things. Hopefully there is peace in that. I think some of our greatest sins and struggles and anxiety comes from us trying to control things that aren't our responsibility or above our pay grade in some ways. It's hard. It's honestly hard. People with adult children, they know that, their kids need to live their lives, both easy and hard. Hopefully we did a good job raising them, getting them where they need to be. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they're adults. They need to make those decisions. As Christians, we need to love, support, and care for our neighbor, proclaim the gospel. but we're not responsible for other people's journeys in faith and growth. That's sometimes one of the struggles of being a pastor. I wish everybody was at a certain point in their faith and all those other sorts of things. And I'd like to get them there, but it's not my responsibility. It's my responsibility to support them, guide them, pray for them, give them opportunities out the yin-yang. But again, they have to do their stuff. It's that hard balance of reality. And that is part of what this was about. But even then, what our biases are. What is God concerned with? God is often not as concerned with the things that we are concerned with. And getting our heads back on a swivel of what truly matters to God is a blessing. Because we can jettison some of that stuff that don't matter. You don't need to worry about it because it's just not that important. And sometimes we get all twisted up and focus on things that don't matter as much as we think. And to be free from that is a blessing. And to get in sync with God is to be in a good harmony position. But even then, we move on to our next text. This Sunday is going to be an interesting one with Mark. It is the great confession of Peter. And in many ways, it talks about what it means to be a disciple and what the cost of being a disciple is. Bonhoeffer wrote a great book, but to follow Christ is a very distinct reality. Even as we get priorities straight, the gospel calls us to get our actions straight and what those things mean as well. Hopefully I can hit that. Well. But as part of the midweek meditation, I want to make sure we don't skip over James. I like James. That might rub Martin Luther the wrong way. He was frustrated by the book. Again, I get frustrated by certain parts of the Bible too. It's the nature of the beast. But I like James. James does something important that I think. James takes and really does a good job of making sure it's clear that our beliefs and actions are inexorably linked. We cannot take them away from each other. Many times we'll talk about what we believe or what we think is important. But if our actions don't support that, that's not truly what we believe. Our actions are the greatest sign, symbol, and reality of what we hold to be true. I use this in confirmation. If you truly believe a door handle is electrified, you're probably not going to grab it. I remember, when I was younger, messing around with electric fences. If I believed the electric fence was on, I wasn't going to grab it. Most critters that live around electric fences believe that when they've touched it, they're going to get shocked again. Our beliefs affect our actions. So if we believe in loving others and caring for others, but we don't do anything to love and care for others, do we actually do that? If I say I'm a firefighter, I believe I'm a firefighter, but I've never fought a fire, what does that mean? James brings that up. And it's important. It's important for us to be clear that our beliefs and actions need to be synergized. We need to. Now, this can appear to be a finger wagging, but it goes back to even some of the stuff last week. What are our priorities? What does matter? We can audit our priorities by looking at what we do and how we spend our time. I'm not going to lie to you and say that working out is a priority to me. I wish it was. I'm hopefully going to get there, but it ain't at the moment. You can tell by how I spend my time. It's not. And maybe it's that I don't have enough time for that to be a priority, et cetera, but still. Again, those workout folks, when they're going to be in the gym, and that's their priority. They could tell you, working out ain't my priority. But if they're spending time there, it is. That is the great lesson from James, and a very important tool for us as Christians. That our faith, what we believe about the faith, should be shown in our actions. We'll lift up, brothers and sisters in Christ. Hopefully, plenty grist for the mill, things to think about, things to look forward to in church, and all those realities. But above all, blessings on y'all. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for our world. Keep praying for things going on. Keep praying for those still after 9/11, and continue to pray for the generations to come. Blessings, brothers and sisters. Talk to you soon. Bye now.